What's up, guys? Bang, bang. Yesterday, we saw the Federal Reserve increase interest rates by 75 basis points to 4%. But this reminds me of the over-rotation that the Federal Reserve had in loose monetary policy. We saw them in 2020 bring interest rates down to 0% in two emergency rate cuts, and then they began to conduct asset purchases in the market. They continued to do this loose monetary policy, even though inflation eventually rose to over 7% at the end of last year. That over-rotation created an absolute boom in asset prices and caused all sorts of high inflation and many other issues in the economy. Then the Federal Reserve realized that they had to get tough, that they had to bring down inflation. And so they began to rotate the other way. They started to increase interest rates in March of this year, and then they began to actually conduct asset sales off their balance sheet. Now we are in a situation with 4% interest rates, but inflation has not yet come down. The Federal Reserve remains committed to bringing inflation down, and they say that they'll do whatever it takes. But one of the big concerns right now is, are they going to over-rotate? Will they continue to tighten too much? We have seen many asset prices come down significantly since November of last year. The S&P is down 20%. We've seen the NASDAQ 100 down over 30%, and Bitcoin is down more than 70%. These asset prices falling would usually have a pretty big impact in the market, but the problem is that the wealthy, they're the ones who are being hurt. They're the ones who own the assets. All of the folks in the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder, they're not being punished by asset prices going down. In fact, they simply are being punished by the high inflation. Most of their monthly spending is in high inflation goods. And so we're in this very weird situation where we have seen the Federal Reserve tighten financial conditions, destroy demand of investment assets, but yet we still have a strong labor market and consumers still seem to be spending plenty of money. In this situation, the Federal Reserve has got to make a choice at some point. How high can they raise interest rates? How much are they willing to actually risk pushing the United States economy into a deeper and deeper recession? Or are they going to simply allow some level of inflation to be the new norm? I don't have the answers, but this is the big question right now. The Federal Reserve is facing a tough situation. The economic machine is complex, and I don't think anyone actually understands what to do. Keep your eye on the Fed. What they decide is ultimately going to be what determines the asset prices of the future.